Yesterday my picks didn't pick their hooves up, so we move on to the next day and our hand-picked winners and best bets for day 4 of Royal Ascot. Race number 1 Albany Stakes. We have an exciting lineup for the upcoming Albany, featuring a talented group of unexposed winners who displayed great potential in their debut races. Among them, JABAARA stood out with a remarkable performance at Newmarket, where she surged forward upon finding an opening, and the form from that race looks promising, especially considering the performance of the third-place horse. Another strong contender is Persian Dreamer, who impressed in her first race despite her subsequent defeat at York, which can be overlooked due to the unfavourable conditions. Matrika is also worth considering, as she defied market expectations at the Curragh, and newcomers from her yard tend to be quite talented. Carla's Way caught attention with her performance at Doncaster, and with her impressive looks and potential, she should not be underestimated. Porta Fortuna and Navassa Island, who dominated an Irish Group 3, are also significant players in this race. Matrika, ridden by Ryan Moore and trained by Aidan O'Brien. Her performance at the Curragh was impressive, with her ears pricked and a strong burst of speed. Additionally, she is likely to have improved since her last win. Moving on to Porta Fortuna, this filly by Caravaggio showed her class by winning a Group 3 at Naas in her previous outing. She travelled smoothly throughout the race, though she may have been in front for too long near the finish. It is worth noting that Frankie Dettori is booked to ride her. Persian Dreamer displayed great promise in her debut and was heavily favoured at York. However, the firm ground at the Bowling Green track seemed to pose a challenge for her. Despite her disappointing performance, her potential remains evident from her impressive debut at Newmarket. I am willing to overlook her last race and hope for a strong comeback. Carla's Way made a strong impression by justifying favouritism in her debut at Doncaster. The second-place finisher in that race went on to validate the form in a significant manner, making Carla's Way an appealing choice as she steps up in class. Number 6 JABAARA is my top choice for the Albany race. JABAARA's performance in her debut race at Newmarket was truly remarkable, as she showed tremendous speed and skill once she found an opening. The form lines from that race also indicate a promising outlook, particularly considering the performance of the third-place horse. Based on these factors, it is evident that JABAARA left a strong impression on you, making her your preferred selection for the Albany. Her display of talent and potential, combined with the positive indicators from her debut, make her a formidable contender in the race. My bet is number 6 JABAARA. To win, place. Race number 2 Commonwealth Cup. This year's Commonwealth Cup presents an engrossing renewal, with numerous esteemed contenders opting to drop back from a mile distance. Among them is Tahiyra from Roger Varian's stable, who also competed in the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket in his last outing but failed to make an impact. As the impressive winner of the Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes at Newbury last season, Tahiyra was highly fancied for Classic Glory at Newmarket but could only secure a 7th-place finish. Returning to 3/4 of a mile, a distance in which he excels, Tahiyra has proven his ability to excel over this distance, making him a noteworthy rival to Little Big Bear at the forefront of the market. Ralph Beckett, the triumphant trainer of Jimi Hendrix in the Royal Hunt Cup earlier this week, is poised for further triumphs on Friday. He is set to unleash his exceptional filly, Lezu, who has the potential to be a formidable contender if she rediscovers her exceptional form from her younger years. Last season, she secured 4 wins out of 5 starts, including impressive victories in the Group 3 Princess Margaret Stakes at Ascot and the Group 1 Cheveley Park Stakes at Newmarket. In her sole appearance this season, the 1,000 guineas at Newmarket, Lezu struggled to endure the mile distance, prompting her return to a 6-furlong race. Throughout her career, she has showcased tremendous speed, and should she bounce back from her guineas disappointment, she could be a significant force to reckon with, making her a valuable contender against the aforementioned colts. Shaquille, currently in the best form of his career, recently triumphed in a listed event at Newbury. While the other contenders may need to recover from their performances in the Guineas, this raider has been flourishing and is undoubtedly another leading player. Additionally, Herbal Style and Mischief Magic, 2 Godolphin raiders, enhance the race with their presence, despite being available at relatively higher odds. This adds further intrigue to what promises to be a captivating renewal. Day 2 of Royal Ascot witnessed Jessica Harrington and Colin Keane achieving glory, and they will now collaborate with Ocean Quest in this race. Furthermore, the remarkably consistent Should Verbeen Airing is another potential candidate for an each-way bet. Back in 2017, Aidan O'Brien guided Caravaggio to victory in the Commonwealth Cup. The renowned Ballydor trainer now holds high hopes of replicating that success by introducing the red-hot favourite, Little Big Bear, a colt of exceptional calibre who appears difficult to beat. Little Big Bear emerged as a fine victor in the Windsor Castle Stakes at last year's Royal Ascot, capping off the season with a stunning Group 1 win in the Phoenix Stakes at the Curragh. Although he attempted a mile distance this season, the No-Nay Never colt disappointed in the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket. In response, O'Brien chose to reduce his trip, and the colt showcased his class by storming to victory in the Sandy Lane Stakes over 6 furlongs at Haydock Park. Undoubtedly, this upcoming race poses a considerably tougher challenge, but on his best day, he is an outstanding colt. If he performs at his peak, he should prove superior to his competitors. However, considering the odds offered, there is minimal value to be found. Although Little Big Bear will be tough to beat, I'm going to take a shot on number 12 Ocean Quest. My bet is number 12 Ocean Quest. To win, place, race number 3 Duke of Edinburgh Stakes. The last time a race was won from a single-digit starting position was back in 2008, by a frontrunner. Among the horses with low draws this time, Americ and Tumesha's Fox appear to be the most intriguing contenders. However, I prefer a horse drawn a bit wider. HMS President has proven his mettle in battles and is currently in the best form of his career, making him a strong candidate to perform well today. Although his 4-year-old opponents, particularly Al Nafia trained by Appleby, my second choice, pose a threat, HMS President receives my vote. This race presents the first opportunity this season for Al Nafia to showcase his potential. It's also worth mentioning Makesud, Haunted Dream, and Morikana as they deserve recognition. Roger Varian, known for his caution, would only bring Nagano here after a significant period of rest if he were completely satisfied with the horse's condition. Assuming Nagano retains the same level of ability as his 3-year-old campaign, and with the hope that he has made progress despite not racing, David Egan seems to have secured a good ride. Watch his 6th place finish in the King George V race in 2021 if you don't recall how unlucky he was that day. I believe he could have either won or come close at Royal Ascot following that race had he not been squeezed during his charge. With an each-way price and most bookmakers offering an additional place, I hope he can add another victory for a team that has performed well this week so far. Tumesha's Fox, representing King Power Racing, Andrew Balding, and ridden by Oisin Murphy, is an intriguing prospect. Since being gelded during the winter, he has been a completely different horse, displaying a much more focused mindset. His recent victory in a competitive Newmarket handicap, achieved effortlessly, marked a career-best performance. Despite being drawn in Gate 6, he is a horse that tends to race prominently. Oisin Murphy could quickly position his mount out of the gates, rendering the draw irrelevant. If he can achieve this without expending too much energy, however, I fancy the chances of number 16 HMS President, ridden by Ross O'Ryan and trained by Alan King, to win this handicap. My bet is number 16 HMS President. To win, place, race number 4 Coronation Stakes. Tahiyra, trained by Dermot Weld and ridden by Chris Hayes, demonstrated her superiority by finishing second to Morge in the 1,000 guineas before claiming victory in the Irish equivalent at the Curragh, defeating Meditate and Comra. She displayed remarkable resilience in her races and has the potential for further success, potentially in another Group 1 event. In terms of the competition, Tahiyra stands out as the outstanding contender, with a high probability of delivering an even more impressive performance. However, Queen Fuyu, trained by John and Thady Gosden and ridden by Robert Havlin, is a strong competitor. Despite being narrowly beaten by Sounds of Heaven at York, Queen Fuyu has the potential to surpass her rival and poses a significant threat. It is worth noting that Queen Fuyu's dam emerged victorious in this very race back in 2012, making her an intriguing prospect. The remaining horses also possess their own strengths and potential for success. Comra, under the guidance of Jim Bolger and jockeyed by William Buick, exhibited significant improvement when equipped with cheek pieces and finished admirably in the Irish 1,000 guineas. With the reappearance of the headgear, Comra could secure a prominent position once again. Mama's Girl, trained by Richard Hannon and ridden by Kevin Stott, showcased her talent by securing victories in her first 2 starts at Newmarket. Although she faltered in the 1,000 guineas, Mama's Girl has the opportunity to leave that disappointment behind and rediscover her winning form. Meditate, trained by Aidan O'Brien and ridden by Ryan Moore, experienced success as a 2-year-old, triumphing in the Albany and Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. Despite a lackluster performance in the 1,000 guineas, Meditate rebounded with a commendable second-place finish in the Irish equivalent, indicating her potential for claiming a prominent position in this race. Remarquee, under the guidance of Ralph Beckett and jockeyed by Rob Hornby, demonstrated promise by winning her first 2 starts, including a late surge in the Fred Darling. Although she appeared inexperienced in the 1,000 guineas, Remarquee is expected to improve as she adapts to the challenges of her profession, particularly at this distance. Sounds of Heaven, trained by Jessica Harrington and ridden by Ronan Whelan, showcased her capabilities by securing a significant victory in a listed 1-meter race at York. With impressive speed and a strong finish, Sounds of Heaven displayed potential for further growth and success. Each horse brings its own unique qualities and aspirations to the race, ensuring an exciting and competitive event. Tahiyra undoubtedly stands out as the outstanding contender in this race, showcasing her exceptional abilities and displaying immense potential for an even more remarkable performance. With her impressive track record and recent victories, she proves to be a formidable force that is difficult to overlook. It is highly likely that Tahiyra will emerge victorious and secure a well-deserved win in this competition. My bet is number 7 Tahiyra. To win, place, race number 5 Sandringham Stakes Handicap. Currently, the frontrunner, Coppice, may be slightly undervalued due to the influence of Frankie Dettori. Consequently, she is often overlooked despite having a positive and unexplored background, as well as a favourable stall position. However, my attention is drawn to another filly trained by John and Thady Gosden, Marksman Queen, who sits at the top of my shortlist. Although Marksman Queen has yet to compete on turf, it is worth noting that horses with experience on artificial surfaces tend to perform well on Ascot's straight course. Additionally, she carries significant potential for further improvement and is rated highest according to Timeform weight-adjusted ratings. Furthermore, her rating still bears the small p, indicating the likelihood of additional progress. Marksman Queen achieved victories in her first 2 outings over a mile at Kempton and Southwell, and the form of those races has held up reasonably well. Although she lost her unbeaten record in her handicap debut at Kempton, it was still an exceptional performance, considering she was not as strategically positioned as the winner, who controlled the pace. The saddle will now be taken by Holly Doyle, which is advantageous given her 30% success rate when riding for this stable. Additionally, Doyle boasts a perfect record at Ascot, albeit from just one ride, as the winner at the 2021 Royal Meeting. Currently priced at 18-1, Marksman Queen appears undervalued, especially considering her potential to excel in a strongly contested straight mile race and her advantageous high draw. Moving towards the lower end of the handicap, Aidan O'Brien's Jackie O emerges as a compelling contender, making her handicap debut. She made a victorious debut on heavy ground at Naas in March, defeating her more fancied stablemate, who subsequently won their next outing. In her subsequent appearance, Jackie O showed significant improvement, finishing as the runner-up to a promising filly in a listed event over a mile and a quarter. Although Jackie O failed to progress further in the Irish 1,000 guineas, she was not far behind Tahiyra, who is a strong favourite for the Coronation Stakes on Friday. Additionally, she finished even closer to her stablemate Meditate. While she seemed overwhelmed on that occasion, the stronger pace of this race will likely suit her, and endurance is crucial for victory in a straight mile race at Ascot. Although her opening mark of 102 may be slightly high, it would be unwise to dismiss her given her esteemed connections and numerous Group 1 entries. Johnny Murtaugh, who trained a commanding winner in the Sandringham 2 years ago, presents another formidable contender in the form of Clounmacon. During the previous season, she competed against respectable competitors, securing 2 second-place finishes. She triumphed on her return to the track in April at Dundalk, despite facing challenges during the race. Her subsequent performance in a Group 3 event was disappointing, likely due to the higher class of competition and unsuitable ground conditions. However, Clounmacon rebounded in her handicap debut at the Curragh, finishing just a neck behind Bellaphina, who she will face once again. On that day, Clounmacon encountered bad luck and could have won if asked for her effort sooner, as she finished strongly despite starting further behind the winner. Now carrying a 1 pound weight advantage, she is a confident choice to reverse the form and exhibits potential for further progress in only her second handicap race. Regarding Bellaphina, she also won on her handicap debut at the Curragh, and a modest 3 pounds rise in weight does not appear overly harsh. While she should not be disregarded, my preference lies with Clounmacon as my top choice. However, if Bellaphina secures a spot in the race as the 31st runner, she becomes my favoured selection for victory and represents good value for John Andrew Kinsella. My bet is number 14 Clounmacon in the event that number 31 Bellaphina draws, and she is my top bet, and best bet of the day to win, place, race number 6 King Edward VII Stakes. It's difficult to overlook the impressive performance of King of Steel in the recent Derby, where he finished a clear second in his first run under Roger Varian's training. If he reproduces that form, he'll be hard to beat. However, there are glimmers of hope for other contenders as well. Take Artistic Star, for instance, who finished 7th in the Derby but showcased an eye-catching finish despite potentially being unsuited by the track. Another factor to consider is the possibility of a tactical race, in which case Dubai Mile, who finished 9th in the Derby and could set the pace, might benefit. Although a rest, Derby, and continuous, Prix du Jockey Club, were disappointing in their previous outings. They come from reputable stables and should be capable of better performances. Now, let's turn our attention to the King Edward VII Stakes, which features a relatively small field, among which King of Steel can be found. King of Steel was a revelation in the Betfred Derby, leaving his jockey Kevin Stott filled with regret for making his move too early, several hours, or even days, after the race. For a brief moment, he surged ahead of the pack, only to be overtaken by the nimble feet of Auguste Rodin in the final 100 yards. What makes the runner-up's performance remarkable is the backstory. He had only raced twice as a 2-year-old under David Loughnane before winning spectacularly on debut at Nottingham in October. However, a race at Doncaster, just 10 days later, proved to be too much, too soon for him. With Armour Racing's tendency to switch stables, King of Steel moved to Roger Varian for his 3-year-old season. Soon, this colossal son of Wootton Bassett began to impress on the Newmarket gallops. But then, things took a turn for the worse. During the Dante Stakes at York, he grew restless in the stalls and had to be withdrawn when the gates opened. At that point, his Derby dream seemed shattered. Yet, after a successful stalls test at Leicester and a bold decision, he found himself at Epsom. Inexperienced, facing an unparalleled Derby Day atmosphere, and competing against the finest middle-distance colts of his generation, he displayed an exceptional effort, coming agonizingly close to victory. To provide some context, his performance was 28 pounds higher than his peak form as a 2-year-old according to Timeform. And he still had room for improvement. That's the truly exciting part. To witness a colt demonstrate such natural ability after only 2 runs and a mishap at York signifies a prospect unlike any other. However, the focus now shifts to his next move. This is a quick turnaround, with less than 3 weeks passing since his heroic performance at Epsom. It will be his second rapid race on fast ground, a surface he hadn't encountered until late in his 2-year-old season. Once again, he faces a momentous day and a vibrant atmosphere, which will test both his ability and temperament. Among his competitors, at least at the time of writing, is Arrest. He was the favourite for the Derby, aiming to secure a victory for Frankie Dettori in his final ride in the prestigious race. However, he struggled on that day. If the Cambers of Epsom were to blame, Arrest could present a different proposition on Friday. But if it was the quick ground, his performance might not improve. Artistic Star, who finished 7th in the Derby, ran an exceptionally promising race. Like King of Steel, it was only his 3rd career start, and despite being shuffled to the rear of the field due to traffic problems, he showcased an impressive finish that suggests more significant achievements in the future. Dubai Mile, who finished 9th in the Derby, is expected to perform better at Ascot due to the track conditions. However, the sun-baked turf might pose a challenge for him, just like it could for Arrest. Continuous represents Aidan O'Brien after finishing in the middle of the pack in the French Derby, while Relentless Voyage secured 3rd place in the Irish equivalent. All these colts possess considerable talent, but if there's a standout, it's King of Steel. I urge you to rewatch the Derby and observe how he effortlessly travels and accelerates. He appears to be a Group 1 winner in the making, whether it's over 10 or 12 furlongs. Friday's race will serve as another test for the reasons mentioned earlier. If he passes this test, the doors to major midsummer and autumn prizes will swing wide open for him. Let's hope he lives up to the high expectations he has set. As for my prediction, I believe Artistic Star has what it takes to emerge as the winner. My bet is number 3 Artistic Star. To win, place, race number 7 Palace of Holyroodhouse Stakes Handicap. Radio Goo Goo is poised to continue her winning streak with a 5th consecutive victory. In her 4 previous wins over 1,200 meters, she has consistently showcased her speed and outpaced her competitors. The Ascot 1,000 meters race will feel comfortable for her, as it is similar to the distance she has excelled in before. With her current form and racing style, it's a confident choice to support her. Frankness displayed a convincing return to form at Goodwood 2 weeks ago, hinting at further potential to come. Andrew Balding's filly should have no trouble adjusting to the minimum trip for the first time. Conquistador has also made an impressive start under his new trainer and poses a challenge worth considering. Jerbat and Danger Alert are among the few others that deserve attention. While several contenders have their merits, I personally lean towards number 12 Radio Goo Goo as the preferred choice. My bet is number 12 Radio Goo Goo. To win, place. Good luck, have fun. We'll be back tomorrow to give you picks for the finale of the Royal Ascot meet. Please like and subscribe.